Now what I'm going to do is put together the back end, but I'm going to spin this around so you can actually see what's happening on the back side. Now we had moved the platforms towards the rear, so we had access to this up front. Now I'm going to do the reverse of that. I'm going to move them forward so that we have, there we go. So now you move these forward, and now you have room back here to do some work. So the first thing we're going to do is take this wheel, and we're going to loosen up nuts on either side of the hub so we can slide it up into the dropouts. Okay. The dropouts are going to fit into this section here and that section right there between the yellow washer and the silver washer, and between these two nuts on this side. The chain's going to wrap around the sprocket, so it's going to sit into the back end of that dropout in this direction. The dropouts have a little plastic guard here that is provided during shipping. We can take that out. All right. And now we have to look at where our chain is, okay? Our chain sits here. We want to wrap it around this chain ring. And we want to take our shifter cable that has the bell crank on there for the 3-speed, and we're actually going to feed that through underneath here and through the chain on that side, okay? That's going to sit back here like that, all right? Now, remember I told you there was a couple of clips here, these little black clips that actually hold this cable on. We're going to move this cable up into one of the holders right there, and we're going to secure it so it stays in that position and out of the way of what else we're doing. Okay, so that clip holds it right there. Shift that in like that. And now that cable sits like that, all right? Now what we want to do is we want to slide this wheel up into the rear triangle here, into these dropouts, so that the dropout fits right in that position. Over here on the brakes, there's a little lever on the left side. You can release the brakes to give you a little more width here so that the tire and wheel fit up in there real easily. All right? So we have the chain wrapped around the chain ring. We're going to lift the wheel, and we're going to thread the chain around that rear sprocket. Like that. Okay. And now we're going to slide this up into the dropout spot. Make sure we have enough room here on both sides where the dropouts go. This goes in like that, up in there like that. And now our wheel is in position. What we have to do now is tighten these nuts. Okay? These are both 15 millimeters. So we're going to tighten them on both sides. First with fingers, and then we'll use a wrench to do that. Here's our 15 millimeter hex right there. And what you want to do when you tighten those nuts is you want to make sure the wheel is pulled back so the chain is nice and tight. Okay, so I'm going to sit here and behind it, and I'm going to pull this back a little bit. So we make that chain nice and taut. There and there, you can feel it with your finger, keeping the wheel centered in this dropout, and now tighten these nuts up. And then tighten the left side as well, keeping the wheel in the center. Okay, wheel's in, all right? Now what we have to do is we have to hook up the shifter cable to that. Here's our shifter bell crank that comes from the shifter all the way up there, and the cable comes all the way down through the tube right here. And we have to have a shifter push rod that goes in there. And in our little bag of components, there's a shifter rod with a short solid end and a long silver end here with a red line on it. We push that in from that position like that. We take this bell crank, and that slides over top. And actually, this is shown in your instructions as well that come with the Nexus shifter. We hold that in like that, and then we screw this nut with a 5 millimeter. All right. Do it until it just secures this and doesn't allow it to slide off of that rear axle. A little bit more. There, it's snug. All right? Shifter's attached. The rear wheel is all attached. Okay? Now, check the brake pads here and make sure that the brake pads connect against the rear wheel at the edge of the hub. All right? These require a little bit of adjustment with a 4mm wrench right there, just to make sure that they are properly aligned. All right. On that side, I'm going to check this brake pad on this side and move it into a slightly better position. Okay. That's done. All right. So, rear wheel's attached, shifter's attached, transmission's ready to go. You receive 2 of these black clips in your kit, and the second one actually goes right underneath here to hold this cable against that position right there, and I'm going to push this cable up to it this way and put this little clip on right there. All right. Now, each one of these cables goes into the frame, and there's a little plastic insert that holds that cable against the frame right there. You can push those in with your fingers as well. They need to be inserted. All right? Now, everything is set up this way.